Hello and welcome to my ever messy art space. This is Keeks and today is a very good day. So kind of letting you know how the past few days have been for me. We found out that there were a bunch of kittens living under our shed. We kept hearing mewing and it turns out that these are the kittens of a mother cat who had passed away. So we needed to rescue these kittens. And so the first day I caught 5 kittens, but there was one cat that kept eluding us. And this poor kitten has been under our shed for at least 4 days at this point. And today after work, I was like, okay, I'm gonna try one more time. I bought a laser and a net, and I had like a cat trap. And I was so sad because that little cat's meows were getting weaker and weaker, and I was just like, oh my gosh, I need to rescue this kitten. And it's been haunting me for the past 4 days. So I was getting frustrated and I was like, okay, I'm gonna take a break. I'm gonna change the food that's in the trap real quick. I'm gonna just take a break. I'm gonna relax for a second because I've been worrying about this cat nonstop. And one of my neighbors is a veterinarian, and she said that if I could catch this kitten, she would make sure that it was going to be okay. So after about 20 minutes, I'm like, okay, I'm ready to go do this again. I've got a hiding spot. I've got a new strategy. This cat is very smart. It knows that we're looking for it, and it's kind of playing with us. So, you know, maybe if we stimulate it with the laser and get it to chase the laser, maybe we can get it to jump onto the net or something. But we go outside and I heard these like howls, and I'm like, oh my goodness, what's going on? And it turned out the cat had triggered the trap and had tried to go and get its food. And the howling we were hearing was actually the poor cat like, oh my gosh, what just happened? Because it had to have just happened. And we were like, oh my gosh, yay. So we rushed the cat up to my veterinarian neighbor. And this cat's bright orange, so my son had already said it's orange. Orange lives under our shed cat. So anyway, we brought Orange over and we're like, hey, well, it turns out orange cats are almost always boys. And so Orange is a boy. And she was looking at him and she goes, oh my gosh, he's thin, but he's healthy. And it looks like the only thing that she could tell that was wrong with him is just that he was really dehydrated. So she's like, let me see what I can do. And, you know, I'm going to help you with this kitty. We're going to make sure that it gets a good home. We're going to, you know, make things good for this kitten. Because its other siblings had already been adopted out whenever I had found them before by the Missouri-Kansas State Pet Project. So then, well, really not much has happened since then. We have the cat in our bathroom right now. We're taking really good care of it. It's a very sweet little kitten, and I'm just so happy that we got it. And it's funny because it was such a skittish little thing, but now it just wants all the pets in the world. I wish I wasn't allergic to cats. I would so keep this cat. But yeah, I've been thinking about this poor kitten for so many days now. I'm just so happy. So to celebrate that, I wanted to paint, and I want to try one of my favorite pages in this book. And this book is, of course, Abstract Watercolor by Kate Rebecca Leach. And you can get this on Amazon. I'll link it below. But one of the ones that really caught my eye was this one page called Soothing Scallops. And I just absolutely love the way this looks. Like, everything about it is a yes for me. So I want to try and do it. And what I thought I could do is, because it involves some mark making, I thought maybe I could draw a couple of my cards, you know, get some ideas from those. And then I also wanted to use a palette from Little Amy Arts, from the Pocket Palette. I thought that would be really fun. So let me go ahead and draw a color palette. So here's my little cute pocket palette. It's so cute. Okay, I've got my eyes closed and I'm just gonna like mix them up. They're not like playing cards, so I don't think I can shuffle them quite like, you know. Yeah, I don't think I can do it like that. So we'll just try. Okay. So I'm gonna flip this one. Okay, so this is kind of like a fall one. Okay, okay, I like it. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull out those Gansai Tambi Kuretakes, the Art Nuevo set that I have, and I'm gonna try those out again. I think that'll be really good. So I'm gonna put my color palette here so that we can remember what it is. I'm gonna put the rest of my little Amy cards away real quick. And then we have lots of scales here, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna draw 4 cards, 4 of these, and I'm gonna close my eyes and I'm gonna shuffle them real quick. I'm not looking at them. You can probably tell because I'm sure the shuffling is absolutely terrible because I can't see what I'm doing. Okay. Let's go with this one. We're just going to take the first 4 off the top and see what we end up with. Okay, I'm going to open my eyes now and put the rubber band back over these and see what we got. Oh, okay, so we've got scribbles. So one of these scales should have a scribble of some sort in it. We've got water droplets, which is actually perfect for this, raindrops, because this is an ocean one. Swirls, that should be nice. I like that. And waves. Well, what do you know? Scallops are already in this one. Should I redraw since I feel like this already meets that? Let's redraw. So I'm gonna close my eyes again. I'm gonna keep this one out because we don't want that one. Let's try again because I feel like that's cheating. Let's go with this one. Oh, okay. O's and circles. Perfect. We'll keep it. All right. So now we've got we've got a color palette and we've got some symbols that we know we want to use. So I'm liking this. Oh, let's talk about what I did to get the scales. Boy, I wonder why my desk is so not as bright as normal today. I feel like I have a weird shadow on the camera right now. Maybe if that's so weird. I don't usually have this bad of a shadow. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna just check the light real quick. Well, the light is up all the way, and I do have my shop light on. That's very strange. I don't know why I have that shadow on there, so I do apologize. Maybe, let me see if I have an option to add light. I don't see one. Huh. Yeah, unfortunately, I think we're just gonna have to deal with them. Sorry, guys. We'll do our best, though. It'll be okay. But anyway, so what I did to get these scales on here is I used something called masking fluid, which I'd never used before. So first I took these heat erasable fabric marking pens that Devin Rex for Art had originally talked about on her watercoloring paintings. And I drew scales on there. And then afterwards, I took this masking fluid and it is now on here. Now, one thing that's really weird about it is it's kind of sticky. So I'm going to definitely make sure that I'm washing off my paintbrush as I go. And then what it says to do is you can protect the areas that don't need to be painted. After 15 to 25 minutes, it can be wiped away with fingers or an eraser. Please clean the brush in time to avoid damage. And I did just use kind of like a crappy like Walmart paintbrush, like nothing special. This doesn't even have a name. And it's one of those like really coarse brushes that's really prickly, you know. So let's go ahead and take a look here. I've got all kinds of mosquito bites from chasing that kitty. Oh, I'm just glad that we rescued it. Okay, so, oh yeah, and then I forgot to mention I did the heat gun, and that's why it's white now. And that also could be why it's sticky. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. I don't know. So I'll have to try it without doing that once and see how it goes too. Okay, so I am thinking a couple of colors are gonna work pretty well here. So let me go ahead and swatch here. And let me get my good brushes here. Let's see. So I'm thinking that green looks a lot like the billiards green. Here, let's move this stuff over just a wee bit so that you can see. Oops, I knocked something over, that's okay. So let's make it to where we can see mostly the painting and the paints. I think that would be a little bit better. There we go. Everything's in frame this time, so it's looking good. Okay, so I've got this little card here because what I wanted to do was try out some different colors, and I'm not sure where I put my swatch journal at. So we will, oh, here it is. 1 second. I just thought of where it was. Here it is. Okay. So I have this swatch book right here. So what I'm thinking is that pale aqua is going to be our first color. So let's take a look at that. It's number 15, the pale aqua, right here. So I'm just going to wet my brush. I'm going to wet the paint. And I'm going to swatch it right here just to see what it's going to look like. Maybe we can add a little bit of water to that. There we go, just like that. Man, that shadow is really bad today. Wonder, maybe if I bend it like that. Is that better? Yeah, there we go. I think that's better, and you can still see everything. Yeah, okay. So that color there I'm thinking is going to be this aqua color. And then I think that green is going to be, see, that's a pretty dark one. I think, should I do either, I think billiards green is going to be the right one for that. So let's try billiards green. Oh yeah, that is definitely pretty close. So we're going to go with that. And then I was thinking maybe the Mars yellow. So let's try that. Yes, that's correct. Okay. And then let's do Venetian red, because that's kind of like a bronzy brown. I think that's as close as we're gonna get with these. So we're gonna go for that. It's a little bit more brown than what's there, but I think it's close enough to be okay. And then we want kind of a dark brown or maroon color. Let's do, ooh, what about this? Is it, how do you say that? Alizarin? Alizarin crimson? You know, that could work almost for the reddish brown that we needed. So maybe this is our color palette. I think this is This is our color palette now. So I'm gonna keep that to the side here, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna write what these colors are real quick. I'm gonna write Little Amy color palette, Little Amy's pocket palette, number 21, Kuretake Art Nuevo. I don't think that's spelled right, but that's okay. Art Nuevo. This is number 15, Pale Aqua. This one is number 502, Billiards Green. This one is number 402, Mars Yellow. This one is number 403, Venetian Red. And then, oops, there we go. And then this very last one is number 304, Alizarin Crimson. Okay. Okay. So, now we gotta figure out how we're doing this. So let's go ahead and start with the Pale Aqua. Oh, and I also already pre-put some like flowers in there because I thought that would be pretty. And I used the masking fluid to do that. So let's go ahead and get some Pale Aqua. And I'm gonna do this very first one in the Pale Aqua, but I am gonna water it down some, so I want to kind of play with it and see how colorful it stays with like small coats. I want to kind of test it a bit. And enjoy it, you know. The last time I painted with the Kuretakes, I found that they were a lot thicker than regular watercolors, which is very interesting to me, so I wasn't quite sure how to use them properly, you could say. So this time I kind of want to test their limits a bit and just have a bit of fun. Oops, I accidentally picked up 2 cards. It's okay. So let's do that scale. We'll do all the ones with the pretty flowers in it this color. It's kind of cool, it just skates over it. Very cool. I do think we'll definitely need a second coat of this to really get that color to show. But that's not really a problem. I don't mind that. Not one bit. I think that'll be rather pretty though, and like really kind of girly. So we'll go ahead and let that dry. And then let's go ahead. do we want to do this pattern? Maybe we can do it alternating blues, like with the scales, something like that. Yeah, we could try that. So let's go ahead and use the billiards green. Ooh, what if we drop some of that in where we just put some of the blue? Like just give it some fun. I don't know if that's gonna look right or not. Oops, but I'm sure gonna try it. Who knows, it could look terrible, but I'm not gonna play it safe. I'm just gonna let it be how it is. Be organic. So I definitely think we're gonna need some more of that blue, but we'll see. I like that. That looks good. And then what if we do the opposite? Let's do a wet on wet here. Just gonna add the water in. And then this time we're gonna start with the billiards green. And just let it kind of do its thing there. Don't want to waste that paint. All right, let's do the pale aqua again. And just drop it in on the edges. See what it does. Because why not? Maybe it'll kind of give it like a peacock effect. That'll be fun. So let's try to replicate it. I'm just gonna go ahead and wet on wet all of those. So wet on wet is when you wet the paper first and then go from there. So I'm gonna do this one and this one. Okay, so now we're gonna do the same thing and we're just gonna drop it in the middle. Drop it like it's hot, as they say. Just like that. And then we're gonna run over to pale aqua and just kind of go around and let it be free. That is gonna be cool. I am gonna love whatever's gonna happen when those dry, I think. That's definitely fun. Okay. So now we need to decide on the pattern for the rest of these. Like, do we want to diagonal it like we've done here? What do we want to do? Well, let's go ahead and start with Mars yellow. Do I want to do wet on wet or do I want to do a mixture? What do I want to do? I think I'm kind of digging the wet on wet right now. Let's do that real quick. So let's do this one here. And this one here. And then what we'll do is let's take the Venetian red and I'm going to put that in the middle. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that Mars yellow and I'm going to do that around the edges. And kind of lock it in like how I did with those. Yeah, I'm kind of digging that. Okay. So then let's do the next one here. So I'm going to do that wet on wet again. Right there. And then I think right here is also going to be a good choice. And then I'm going to do the same thing. So first I'm going to go after that Venetian red. I'm going to pop it in the middle. And I'm going to take the Mars yellow. I'm going to go around. That's cool. Uh-oh. So it looks pretty good. This one's less wet, but it looks like we're gonna get some pretty cool cauliflower blooms there, so I'm not mad at it. And then let's take this Alizarin Crimson. And I'm gonna put it on a palette over here. So I'm not sure how dark I want it yet. But let's do a wet on wet here. And we'll start with that. And then maybe something like that. Let's do another one right here. I was gonna put it here, yeah. There we go. And as for that little bit there, I'm not real worried about it. We're just gonna take a little piece of paper towel and go, nope. Give it the nope rope treatment. Nope rope is a snake, by the way. Boop it. Boop it on the nose. Alright. And then let's also do here. I think this would look really nice, just kind of spread out. Just a really pretty, almost jewel color. Yeah, it's really pretty. I like that a lot. Okay. And then let's do it here too. I think that would look good. So So let's try not to overwater it again, because I accidentally overwatered that one that we just did. Okay, and let's go ahead and draw. Oops, that did not pick up enough. We need more than that. There we go. And then maybe here and here. So let's wet those two. I need to be careful. I got lucky that that was in a square that we're not even using. But that could have gone poorly if it would have dropped elsewhere. Okay, so let's get some more of that pink in there. The rest of them, I think, are gonna end up being that dark color. Ooh, there's a little one right here. Let's do, there we go. Almost missed that one. All right, so let's go ahead and use that last one, which is Venetian Red. And we're just gonna color in these. I'd like them to be pretty dark. And if it's kind of muddy, that's okay. Because on those, maybe we can do like the raindrops and get them to show up pretty good. So I'm not necessarily worried about it. I've got plans, y'all. I've got plans for it. We're gonna make it work. Going right from the palette because I want it to be really dark. Oh no. Well, that could do something kind of fun there. Yeah, we'll let that happen. Why not? Could be fun. Let's see here. How about here? What I think I'll do is at the top of this one, I might put some of that Mars yellow just to differentiate this one from that one. So we'll let it kind of do its thing. And now we just need to wait for it to dry and see what it ends up looking like. Okay, so I think enough has dried that we can start manipulating a bit. So some of the things we can do, I was thinking, was these circles here. See how they're just like water circles? So I was thinking we could do those because I love those. And then I was also thinking that we could do some raindrops like these. So let's go ahead and try that. So to do those, you just need additional water. But one thing I do want to do real quick is I want to actually add some colors down here to a couple of little areas that I missed. So here I'm just going to do that Mars yellow on these two. And then on that last one, I'll do the Venetian red. Oh no, I don't know how that happened. I think that this was a little bit drier than I thought it was. Oh no, seems pretty watery. Who knows? Anyway, so all you need is just water. And what I'm gonna do is in these dark ones, I'm gonna do some circles. So, oh yeah, it's activating immediately. I don't know if you can see that on camera or not, but it's pretty cool. I'm gonna wet my brush again and do another one right here. One thing I've noticed to watch out for is make sure you don't have beads of water on your paintbrush, because those can come down at any second and ruin everything. It sucks when that happens. Ask me how I know. There we go. And it looks like there's some more right here. Let's get some more water here. And if it doesn't work, we can always just draw circles. I'm not like sometimes I do it and it works and sometimes it doesn't. And I'm not necessarily sure why. I don't know if it has to do with like maybe not letting things dry enough or like what. The other thing I'm going to do is add just like little raindrops in this green. I just thought maybe it would be kind of a cool effect and kind of break up some of that darkness. And once again, it might work, it might not work. I don't know. Sometimes stuff happens and sometimes it doesn't. And if it doesn't, like I said, we can always just, you know, draw it in and it'll be okay. All right, so I think that looks pretty good. So now we're just going to go ahead and wait for it to dry again. Okay, so it ended up some things worked better than others. So I'm just gonna zoom in a bit so that hopefully you can see just a little bit better. Maybe I'll move this up some. Yeah, like that. So as you can see, some of the drops worked out. Like I think the raindrops actually worked really good in the green areas. It may be really hard to see on camera, but later on I'll be able to hold it up, or we might trace over some things. I don't know yet, but I think we are ready for some mark making. And I was thinking that maybe we could do, maybe it would be fun to do some scribbles. And we could also do, ooh, I was thinking on these, some of the gold would look cool. I've got so many ideas, y'all. But I also need to figure out how to address these, because these did not really come to fruition. I would like them to look a lot better than what they do. So let's go ahead and try out some scribbles. I think we're gonna take our white Posca, and on these ones that have no flowers, we're just gonna go ahead and scribble on them. Uh-oh, there was something wet there. Okay, so we need a towel to kind of wipe that end off of. It did not like whatever it just touched. It was like, There we go, I think that's better. Yeah, So it's not quite dry there is what the problem is. We can move on to this one and just kind of give it some scribble wibbles. And this one. And this one. Those have flowers on them, so we're gonna leave them alone. And actually that kind of counts as the dots too, doesn't it? Irony. Okay. So now I want to do some swirls, I think, in these guys. I think that would be fun. So I want to do that with the gold Kuretake stuff though. So I'm going to get that. I'm going to get my ruling pen, I think. And this is the gold Kuretake ink. You can get it on Amazon for like $11.99 or something. And then this is my ruling pen. Janet M. Young likes to use ruling pens with her Kuretake as well, which is where I got the idea. So thank you, Miss Janet. Oop, we got a bubble. Boop. All right. So what I was thinking was we could do some really pretty swirls. So let's see if our Kuretake will be nice to us today. Oh, yes. It's being ever so nice to us. Make sure we're not gooping. There we go. Let's do it again on the opposite side. There, I like that. Okay, so we're gonna do 3 swirls each, it looks like. 1, 2. Here we go. Looks good. It's very elegant looking. Oops. And I might not be talking as much on this part just because with this ruling pen you got to really watch what you're doing because sometimes it doesn't quite behave the way you think it should. So I'm just trying to make sure it is doing what it's supposed to. Oh. See, sometimes it just gets a little funny. Gosh, I really like that a lot. That's very pretty. That one's a little messed up, but that's okay. So that'll be our swirls. And then you just gotta, what you do to release the ink is there's this little twisty thing and you just loosen it up. Lefty loosey, righty tighty. And then I take a paper towel to it. And I'll try to put like a piece of the paper towel like through it as well. Just because sometimes it's a little hard to get all of it out. See, there was all that in there. So I'm just kind of going like this and wiping it off. That way it doesn't get all gooky. Okay. So now I'm gonna go ahead and put the lid back on that. And that truly is a great gold. I don't think we really need it for anything else, unless we wanted to put a couple gold dots in here. I might do like maybe a row of them. Let's do that. So let's keep the Kuretake out for a second. And we'll just get a couple lines of dots. That could be cool. Let's do it on these brown ones because I think they'll look good. Oops, that's too much. I don't want to blob it on accident. I think 2 rows are gonna look pretty good. I don't really care if it matches up or not. I want this to be more abstract, I guess. Doesn't bother me. Oops, that one got a little fat. It's okay though. As the late Bob Ross would say, happy accidents. And I quite like that a lot. So we'll keep our happy accidents. That one kind of lapsed a little bit, but that's all right. Doesn't look half bad though. Ooh. Not what I wanted to do at all. That's gonna look really weird there. That's okay. Kind of makes it look like leather with golden studs. My husband's home from St. Louis, so that's good. Yeah, came back because we have Ronan's birthday party this weekend. Ronan is going to be turning 5 in a few days. So we're going to take him to what's called dinosaur putt-putt. So it's like putt-putt golf, but everything is dino related and it's awesome. I like it a lot. Okay, that dot might not stay there because I think I accidentally got it on the masking fluid. And if it's on the masking fluid, it's just gonna flake off. So we'll see. But it'll probably happen to multiple of them. So if it does happen, it'll look fine. I like adding the gold and the white and blacks whenever I'm doing my mark making. Those are the colors that I tend to go for. Because I really have been into gold lately. Not really sure why. I just have. I, all my life really liked silver and thought gold was hideous. And now silver is boring to me and gold is pretty again. So I just think that through different points in our life, we just go through different phases where we either like or don't like stuff. No idea why that change happens, but you know, it does. Okay, so that looks pretty good. And then let's see here. I think we're missing a type of mark making though. I need to look at my mark making cards here. Let me put away my gold real fast. That way it doesn't dry up or anything. Okay. And I'm gonna take a look at my cards here. So we've got scribbles. We've got swirls. We've got circles. And we do have raindrops. You just kind of can't see them because they're like in the pattern. Okay, so it looks like the rest of it's just kind of up for interpretation. So I'm gonna let's do the white possibly again. The black for some reason doesn't feel good in this because I don't think it's gonna match the vibe. So we're just gonna stick to whites and golds. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do some little polka dots. And we're gonna do it where this kind of yellowy gold is. I think that'll be very fun. And it just kind of accents this cauliflower, however you say it, the bloom. I don't know why I called it a cauliflower bloom or cauliflower bloom. I don't know. When I think of the blooms, I think they look like cauliflower. So we're gonna do that, and then is that too much? I think it might be, so I'm gonna do it more to make it look like it's on purpose. Something like that. And then I guess we're just gonna keep doing it to the rest of those, and that's what they're gonna look like. That's just their pattern. Something like that. This one's gonna be a little bit different because of where the blooms are. Because these blooms kind of go in like a zigzag, so I think this is just gonna be like a really interesting looking one. We'll see. Do that to it. This is going to be a very busy painting, I think. Not that there's anything wrong with busy. Busy can be fun. So there's that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to dry it, and then we're going to try and figure out how to get this stuff off to see what it looks like. Ooh, oh no, my contact is trying to escape. We need to wet it. Oh, that was a terrible feeling. It moved. Ugh. Do you ever have problems with your contacts like that? Like, normally I don't. But I don't know what happened there. I think because this cat is at my house, the kitten, that we rescued. So cute, adorable, but I'm very allergic to it. So my eyes just want to turn red. Anyway, enough about that. Let me just go ahead and do this real quick. I'm just gonna kind of touch around, see if everything feels dry. Some of it's kind of questionable. Yeah, like I just smeared a little bit of that. So we're gonna give it a little bit more time. Maybe because we did that, we can try to smear more of them to make it look like it's supposed to be like that. So I have a feeling if one's going to do it, they're all going to. So let's make it look like it's supposed to do that. Just give it a bit of fairy dust. Uh-oh, not all of it's wanting to do it. Right? No. The only way to fix that is to take some and smear it. So I'm just going to take some from the jar itself and smear it so that these all look like they're supposed to do that. Whoa, that was really big. Didn't mean to do it like that. I feel like I've got fairy fingers now because they're all gold. All right, so now we're gonna dry it. That's going to be fine. So then it says that we can take either a fingernail or an eraser. I don't like the feeling of that on my fingernails if I'm honest. I think I'm going to find an eraser. Hold on a second. It says a kneaded eraser. I don't think I have one, so I'm just going to do like a regular eraser. Maybe I'm full of crap and maybe this is a kneaded eraser, but I thought the kneaded ones were like the big fat pink ones. I have these that came with a sharpener, so I can try that. Let's see. I'm gonna start here. Just kind of give it a bit of an erase. Oh, all right. It did come off. That was wild. It came off like plastic. All right, let's keep trying. Oh, okay. It's very rubbery. Kind of gross. Let's see if we can get it off of this part. Oh. That's a cool effect. It already looks much better. Like I said, I've never used this before, so this is like magic right now. But this stuff is coming off in like these little rubbery bits. Oh look, I can even pull some of it. Ah! Oh, that's satisfying. I'm pulling it. Oh, okay, this is cool. Oh my goodness. It's just like pulling up. Is it supposed to do this? Tell me in the comments if you've ever used this before. This is kind of wild. It's just like peeling off. I mean, I know that's kind of what you want to happen. I'm just... That was really bizarre. Oh my god. Okay. So we've got more of it. And then we also need to go back over it with the heat gun to get rid of some of those marks from before with the pen. So let's see here. Let's try to get off the rest of these. I was like destroying this eraser. Okay. There's some more over here. Look at this poor eraser. Maybe my fingernail would be better for those. Yeah, that's coming off a little better. That looks really cool though. Doing this kind of hard, so I'm glad it's not like doing anything weird to the paint. Goodness. Okay, so let's hit it with the heat gun again and see, because I can see little lines here that I shouldn't be seeing. So I want to see if some of that maybe is some leftover pen that maybe was underneath this. So let's test it. I don't know. There's still some of those lines there. So it must not, I don't know if it's residue from the gel pen or what that is. That's weird. All right, well, let's go ahead and pull our tape. Every time. I always try not to rip the paper and it always rips this paper. This is mixed media paper and I just think it doesn't like masking tape. Yep, there it is again. Goodness. In my Little Amy Arts ones, I'm definitely not using this tape. I'm gonna be using oh my god, that's like really ripping it. Oh, it ripped all of that. That's so frustrating. I'll be trying to use washi tape because she told me that she uses washi tape on hers. So I figure if she doesn't and it doesn't rip them, I can try to replicate that with mine. Yeah, oops, I got some of that masking stuff on my paint. Get out of here. Ew, I just touched paint. That was so... Okay, but anyway, I got it out of my paint, so it's good. I think that pretty much does it. So this is my second time using the Kuretake watercolors, so I really like how vibrant they are. And I really had a lot of fun using Little Amy Arts art card. I think we matched it pretty good. What do you say? Think she'd be proud of us? I'd be proud of me. So I really enjoyed using those, and then I also really enjoyed using my handmade cards. I think I did a pretty good job of incorporating those in there too. I really like how this turned out. Let me hold it up to the camera so you can see it. I think my first time using the masking was a success. What do you say? Pretty good? All right. Well, if you stuck with me this long, thank you so much for watching, and I really appreciate you. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye!